And 1, 2, 3, the honeymoon is over. Oh man, look, I've been trying real hard the last few weeks to try to keep my momentum going forward and keep pace with the original pace that I set out for myself when I first got back to the dealership. We're cruising our way up to, what, a month and a half of being back in the dealership life. But the last few weeks, you see, I got all my level 1s back within my third week, my second week or third week of being back. And then I had to wait a few weeks in order to go to the physical course that I needed to in order to get some of my other levels back, because there were certain categories that only required me to have the hybrid safety course completed, and that's a physical course that you have to attend. So I attended that, which was really cool, and that's where I was able to actually get footage of the 4xe, which I had no clue that they had come out with. That's where I learned about the 392 that they were putting in the Jeep Wrangler as well, which was pretty stellar. But after successful completion of that course, I'm now still a level 1 pretty much across the board, except for now I'm a level 2 back in diesel. I've got one physical course that I have to take in order to have all my level 2s complete, and then on to level 3, and I've got one course in level 3 that puts me over onto level 4, right? So it's like I'm only missing one updated course per level 2 and per level 3 in order to make me pretty much close to that mastery. The funny part about that is that I'm not a master diesel technician. I don't consider myself to be a master diesel technician. I've just completed all the necessary coursework that if I was to take an ASC test that was about diesels and heavy duty trucks and I got ASC certified, I could be considered a master diesel technician. Even those that are ASC certified, even those that are Chrysler certified, there's always something new to learn about a specific system, whether it's transmissions or in this case diesels. And I've barely scratched the surface, was really starting to get more and more involved with diesels. Okay, now I don't actually own one, so I'm even more interested in learning all the ins and outs of it instead of just the R&R side, right? When I learn the electrical side, when I learn the turbine or the turbo side of it, everything. Okay, so I'm working my way towards it, but this is how close I am, so I just figured I'd bring everyone up to speed. Driveline, one course put me back at level 3, so I'm officially level 3 back in driveline. I think I've got 1 or 2 courses. I think I have one internet course that I have to take, which is a kind of like a Zoom and kind of like a physical course, right? So you're there with a group and you're doing it through Zoom. Obviously due to pandemic reasons, they can't have physical courses open all the time, so sometimes it's better or easier for them just to do it through Zoom, especially if there's really no hands-on stuff they absolutely need you to do. So that's why they do the Zoom ones. So anyways, I got like one class to take for that, and then I can do level 4 stuff. And level 4 is pretty much it. Once you complete level 4s, that's it. That's all your training criteria. Everything's been met. So then you're only taking whatever little additional things that pop up in your additional course brackets that will become mandatory later down the road. But if you get them done as they pop up, then you don't have to worry about them later. Alright, and then I'm a level 3 again back in AC and HVAC, which is also pretty cool, right? So I've got 2 of my level 3s, 1 of my level 2s, and I'm really only like 1 or 2 courses away, and 6 different categories here: electrical, chassis, auto trans, engine repair, engine performance, and electrical being the one that I need the most coursework done in. But at any rate, the auto trans, so I've got an 8-speed course that I have to take, that's a physical course, and a 9-speed class that I got to take, that's a physical course, and then on to level 3. For engine repair, I think that one of those courses pretty much finishes that one off and I can go into level 3. And then engine performance, I think I've got like a couple of webinars plus 1 or 2 physical courses to go to, and then I'm all done with that. So that's just how close I am. So I mean, essentially the one that's probably going to take me the longest to complete and be in the level 2 or 3 category, going to be electrical for sure, and then maybe even chassis, and engine performance. Those three, I think I have more than just one course that I got to do. But it's just that close. So what does that actually mean for getting your levels and being leveled up, and all these different levels mean to you at the dealership? So it means different stuff, right? It means that when warranty work comes in and you're required to be a specific level in order to do the repair, you have to have the level in order to do the repair. Now there are some certain circumstances where you can have another tech that's already that level that could do it, kind of flag behind you and observe you and kind of make sure you're doing a sufficient job, and then you flag at the same time he does as he's instructing you through it. And then of course, you know, you get the hours for that, but you have to have somebody there kind of observing you, watching you, and if you have any kind of hang-ups, can assist you. But what that means is more warranty work, and that's kind of what I meant by Honeymoon's Over. I got my first used car in like the last week. I want to say I haven't seen a used car in probably about a week or week and a half even, really. Might have even been a week and a half. Today, just saw it towards the tail end of today, because there was not enough time to really dig deep on one of these suspension projects that I have going on, but there was enough time to where I could get at least the road test done to a safety, bang it out first thing in the morning, kind of get that easy kickoff, and then that way once I jump over to this CP job, I don't know how gravy it's going to be for some of my suspension guys out there, probably super gravy. For me, I don't got no ball joint kit. I know that the shop probably has one, so I'll probably have to get that and any other weird suspensional tools that I might need to pop upper and lower ball joints out. I mean, I have the air hammer, but I think that these ones are press fit in, and of course I'm not going to air hammer them back into position, so right tool for the right job. But no, yeah, what it means going forward is more work, right? Lots of work, lots of warranty work, which means sacrificial time stamping, which means you're not going to be getting those huge, you know, flag sheets at the end of the day. I haven't seen anything over 10 hours in probably 2.5 weeks, right? Since I've gotten my level 1s back. Warranty, warranty, warranty. And I mean, even some of the diag stuff has kind of kicked my butt a little bit. I'm not even gonna lie. There's certain things that I had to do, like I had to chase wires, I had to chase modules, I had to chase connectors. I probably spent the betterment of about 4 or 5 hours on a warranty diag claim, and I'm not even sure how much time they actually got for that. I can just tell you it was next to nothing as far as what you would have expected. I mean, even if you looked at it from a CP standpoint, there's no way in heck we could have ever gotten the amount of time it took me to chase this circuit completely down. You know, customers paying for a service. You want to make sure that you're doing them the service by actually doing your job. You don't want to just get, oh, I'm an hour in, now I'm going to ask for another hour. It doesn't work like that. Like, you have to go through the flow chart or go through the trouble tree and figure out what your next steps are, and it might take you an extended period of time. You might spend 2 or 3 hours and only really charge the customer 1 hour. That's just the way that it goes. I mean, and I think sometimes it's kind of overlooked. I think some customers kind of they feel like that it's super expensive to have their vehicles diag, but at the same token, I don't think they understand what's all involved. Like, I had for instance, I had a customer pay job come in. It was for a right rear airbag. He'd been off-roading. He had tires that were way too big for the vehicle, so they weren't meant for the vehicle, and was on a Jeep Grand Cherokee. And there were airlines that went to a tank that was underneath the spare tire carrier fascia piece for the back. So you pop it out, right? Okay, now you have access to the tank. Then you have to undo the straps. Oh, but the airlines go from rear to front, so they go down through a hole underneath the carpet, underneath the rear seat. So rear seats have to come out. The front seat has to come out. All the carpet for that passenger side has to come out. The battery trough, the plastic covering that goes underneath the carpet that would be covering and protecting the wiring harnesses that go through. Then the extension cords from aftermarket components the customer had already pre-hooked up, plus some of the center console. Then you got to go through the firewall, the wheel well, tires got to come off. Look, it's a long story already, right? You guys are like, man, did you get to it eventually? Yeah, I did, eventually. But it took me the betterment of the entire day, and first time ever doing any kind of repair work to an airbag system like this, and it took me every bit of the whole day plus a couple hours the next day to put it all back together. And it wasn't like this vehicle was empty, man. This guy had 3/4 of his off-road equipment in the back plus some of his military gear. So it was like, dude, I had to pull all this stuff out. There was napkins. It looked like there was soda that had exploded everywhere all throughout the car. He had sunflower seeds. I mean, you know what I'm talking about. You got bottles, water bottles, some of them empty. You got shoes and boots and socks, and you got their clothes, and then you got chains and all these big old crates and stuff, and then all this aftermarket rewired GPS tablet stuff. I mean, dude, it was a nightmare. Absolute nightmare. It took me so long to get through all that, but still, we did not charge them anything north of what the actual book time was. That's not my call, okay? And you know, for me, I'm thinking, hey, if I do this right and get it all nice and completed, put it all back nice and neatly, you know, maybe the customer, as upset as he was that it was taking so long, will grow in appreciation based on how much stuff I actually had to take out. Maybe not, I don't know. But at the end of the day, look, I felt like I did a good job, and it just was a time killer. And so yeah, honeymoon's over. I don't know just how many more cushy, you know, I don't know. Even if you got hooked up with some cushy work a day or two throughout the week, if you're back on the warranty train, chances are you're probably not going to hit those commissional bonuses that you could have gotten. I'm not trying to sound pessimistic, okay? Of course, you know, however much time you're willing to invest and put in and how fast you can move your legs, you could get some really cush time. But for those of you that are leveled up, it's a lot harder, okay? It's not like I'm walking back in level 0, because that's exactly what happened, right? I was coming back in essentially level 0 until I completed all my coursework. Well, I completed all the coursework necessary to get my levels, and then went to the physical course that I needed to get my other levels back. So now I'm back to being certified level 1, 2, 3. So now all that cushy stuff goes to the guys that still are level 0 that haven't completed the coursework. So the hours they produce in a day are going to be far superior to the hours that I could produce, because mine's going to be a little bit more involved, a little bit more labor intensive, a little bit more electrical intensive, okay? The diagnostic scan tool that I have, the Zeus, has been beneficial for a lot of these aftermarket European cars. I'm still pretty much doing a lot of the repairs and diagnostic things on anything aftermarket that comes into the shop because of the experience that I've had and because of the scan tool that I have. But it's not that there's not a couple of people there that don't have experience. I got a couple of really smart guys that also are part of the independent world and that are really good at just electrical in general. So obviously, if I'm not sure if I'm supposed to see a certain bias voltage at a certain connector, I'm going to ask one of them. But that's why there's a group of 4 of us that are all working together on this. So it's a learning experience, man. But look, end of the day, I still got to get down, I still got to get dirty, and yeah, the times are not always there. But don't get discouraged. I'm not discouraged. I'm actually having a pretty good time learning all this different stuff. Like the other day, I had like 3 or 4 alignments. You know, today I had brakes, and then some suspension stuff. Like this guy's ball joint broke, his hub broke, and so the axle cam part. Not sure if he was off-roading or what. Looks like he might have been off-roading. But that's what we got going on for tomorrow. Just kind of trying to catch everybody up to speed. Look, I did talk with Garrett a little bit briefly today. Kind of wanted to see if we couldn't bring him by the casa sometime tomorrow. Do a little bit of light Q&A. Might even have some trade-ins that I'm doing with him to go towards some potentially new tools to review from Snap-on. I've got some other Snap-on stuff here that at the house that I don't use anymore. I'm pretty sure he's going to hook me with a fair trade value in on that. So I'll probably work something out with him, see what else we got coming up. I did hear somebody say that they would be interested in a 3/8 brushless review. Kind of curious about it myself. You know, I got that 16-volt Mako 3/8. It doesn't really have a lot of kick, but I mean, it works pretty good in general, right? I mean, it still works, does what it's supposed to do, but yeah, it's a little bit lacking in power, but it's got the smaller size to fit into tighter spots. I don't know, just food for thought, but those were one of the tools that somebody had asked me about There was something else that somebody had asked me if I'd ever tried out from Snap-on before, and I just can't remember it. But if you guys have Snap-on tool review video requests that you'd like me to potentially look at, think about it, because tomorrow we might have Garrett drop on by the Casa, and we might be checking some stuff out on the truck. So that's all I got for this video, guys. Thanks so much for watching my channel. Cheers to those of you that have your beers. We'll see you next time. Leave your thoughts and opinions about today's discussion topic down in the comments, as well as any tools that you might want to see me review from the old Snapperooskies. That's all I got. See you next time. Cheers and deuces.